Okay, chapter 3, right? Yeah. What's up, you? Oh God, what kind of voice did I do for this? What's up, humankind? Today's episode is a special one. Love me, hate me, or hate to love me, it's your boy, QD. Here's a random question. What does friend mean to you? They're nice, right? Hanging out, eating snacks, chatting, sometimes fighting. One realizes what a blessing such carefree days are at some point. Have you not, sweet child? Now's the time. Late to the party? My condolences. So was I. My fashionista friend was like that too. She and her friend, M, they were total BFFs. Oh, how she loved her. It made her so hateable. They were so close, they spoke on the phone every night. They were the best around. Or is that reference outdated? Sorry, I heard it online once. Anyway, back to our original topic. Little Miss Fashionista thought she knew everything about M. One day learned something she never knew before. Why was that, do you suppose? It's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Quartering Duke Quiz. I wonder what my answer should be. Drum roll, please. The answer is... because M spilled her guts, you see. Literally. Even with a bestie, it's not every day you get to learn what colors someone's insides are. Fashionista and M, BFFs forever. That was fun. That was fun, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't know how much time has passed since we entered this hidden passageway. We're still moving in the gloom, unsure of what's ahead. Oh, this kind of looks like the flashbacks he had to when he was younger with Saika. I wonder if this is the same passageway. At first, everyone was too nervous to speak. Now, however, I can hear voices piping up.
How much longer is this stupid thing anyhow? Out of my way, I'm gonna sprint to the end. Wait, there could be more traps, Rowdy.
Listen to him, Rowdy. We're all feeling a bit impatient, so let's take it easy, shall we?
Yeah, this pisses me off. Say, Posh, do all rich folks' houses got big old tunnels like this? What? Well, the thing is, my house is not nearly so large as this. Huh? So it's smaller, even though you're all rich and famous? A jest, of course. Any upper-class estate would obviously have one or two of these on the premises.
Sure.
Yeah, totally.
This passage just keeps going and going. What could someone be trying to hide, digging a hole this deep? Everyone may be chatting, but things feel just as tense as before. It's no different from when Holmes died. They all must be making small talk on purpose to redirect their thoughts. They're as gritty as ever. I bet they've experienced tight spots like this several times over, especially compared to me. As I walk silently, Downtown's dying face keeps reappearing in my mind. We had only spent a little time together, yet she taught me so much about being a detective. Unlike the others, it's still difficult for me to switch my mood at will. Wish they'd shut up. Bookworm mutters beside me, her face bitter. Her hands have been clenched and trembling this entire time. Her adoptive father had died no more than a few hours ago, so it's no surprise that she can't turn off her feelings either. Sorry they're so loud, Bookworm. I'm sure they're all trying to lighten the mood. Are you sure you're alright with it? You've been moping around this entire time, the girl replied sarcastically. Touche. Honestly, I'm still dealing with it all. It's the first time someone I felt close to turned out to be a criminal. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't believe I said that in front of you, of all people. I understand how hard that is, because I've been through it too, the girl said sympathetically. The one responsible for my mother's and father's death was the teacher who taught me to love reading. That happened to you? That teacher must have been the one behind that incident caused by a remnant of that religious movement, like Renegade Detective mentioned. Having your family killed by your beloved teacher, my heart aches at the thought of it. It's possible to understand those people who commit murder. They are human, like us. Downtown must have also had a reason for committing violent crimes. Solving that is exactly what our job is as detectives. Sounds like something Mystic would have told you. Bookworm says nothing, only nodding once in reply. Everything always has a logic behind it, and even seemingly unrealistic events occur for a reason. Mystic taught me something absolutely priceless. Downtown may have been deceiving us from minute one, but I refuse to believe that everything she said was a lie. Make you a promise, Bookworm. Promise to find out why Downtown joined the Quartering Duke. For Mystic, and for Downtown. Bold words for the lowest rank detective. I won't keep my hopes up, said the girl with a sardonic smile. Bookworm snickers. She may be mocking me, but it's still a relief to see. I'll gladly take any amount of verbal abuse and derision if it helps soften the pain of losing Mystic.
Everyone, I could see the end of the passage. We don't know what lies ahead for us. Let's proceed with caution.
Workaholic warns us from the front of the group. When I look forward, I notice that it's slightly brighter up ahead. So this long passageway does end after all. I feel Bookworm's hand clench in mine. Let's go, Bookworm. I stay by her side as we walk toward the light. And... Yep, that's what I thought. This is exactly like from the flashback.
A familiar dungeon stretches before us. Oh, man.
Yep. Familiar dungeon stretches before us. I read, and not you. Huh?
I don't care.
This place is... A feverish sensation arises in the back of my head, and I feel as though I'm about to keel over from dizziness. Pushing past it, I slowly take in my environs. A strong sense of deja vu sinking into me. The cold, bleak space is choked by dust and a metallic odor. Our footsteps echo off the concrete, lit by flickering gray lights above. There's no mistaking it. This lifeless place is the same one I've seen countless times in my dreams.
It seems you've noticed it as well.
Holmes appears next to me, scanning the room with a stern expression.
This is where we were locked up 10 years ago. So, I'm wondering, will Mystic be a ghost too and start talking to you?
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
I miss him. No, yeah.
The Detective Alliance placed its HQ here to investigate the child abduction case that was so steeped in mystery a decade prior.
There are so many questions I want to ask Holmes, but all the detectives are close by. I'll have to wait until later so I don't look suspicious.
Can't she read his mind?
Yeah, but I think he means, like, if he just sits there quietly for like an hour, I think people are going to think it's just weird.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. At least I'm not the only one who's surprised.
Gracious me, is this a cell block? Sealing a prison underground? Why, this could only be the work of a criminal organization.
What? But I thought all wealthy people had one of these on their premises. A criminal organization? So that's what the Detective Alliance was all along? What a twist.
Was that a little quip intended to elicit a laugh, Renegade? The Detective Alliance most certainly does not engage in illicit acts.
Sorry about that. I promise next one will have you in stitches. Look forward to it.
That was a rebuke, not a critique, you lout.
Renegade's joking aside, this place brings up a hearty helping of questions.
I don't know what, but I'm sensing something really bad here. Watch your step, everyone. Dolfo has the right of it. Let's keep calm and continue exploring the area.
Based on our trajectory, I thought this would lead to Snark's, but no. This is clearly a jail. Surely the DA didn't keep criminals here extra legally. Were they made to work here? That didn't explain the black machines, but why? There's no need for a detective to detain a culprit, and to start, the...
Techie, but you're in your own head again. Remember what old workaholic said, you hear?
What? Oh, sorry. Bookworm, you're staring at the cells. What's up? Here. Bookworm pulls me by my sleeve over to one of the countless cells in the room. These doors can be locked, and there are beds as well. Would this not be a perfect place to rest? Asked the girl, offering a sound idea. Now that she's pointed it out, I can see a rather unconventional bed suspended by chains to the wall. There's an alcove where the frame would normally fold up into when not in use. On it is a simple mattress that should suffice for the purposes of rest. Well, I didn't animate the mattress. So I was just like, are they going to sleep on the concrete? That looks uncomfortable. Bookworm looks utterly exhausted. Not only is she the youngest one here, but somebody dear to her was killed today. She may not have noticed yet, but I'm certain she's nearing the brink of exhaustion. Hey, workaholic. How about we stop for today? Everyone's probably tired by now, right? If we find the keys, we can lock ourselves in and sleep safely tonight.
Yes, that's an excellent idea. Perhaps we could ask everyone who still has energy to search for the keys. Don't even worry about it. One of the shelves back there smelled funny, so I took a look-see and found the keyring.
Nice work, Rowdy. Your sense of smell really is amazing.
Seems everyone's putting in so much effort, so much more effort than I am, and I'm supposed to be the workaholic here. You're making me look bad. Well, if no one objects to spending a night in a cell, then I suppose I can deign to accept it. We've been through a constant stream of unusual happenings lately. My senses are probably starting to grow numb.
We check the cells just in case, ensuring there are no traps here like in the manor. There's no furniture apart from the beds, and since all the cells are the same layout, we finish fast. Nothing but rows and rows of bars like any jail.
Everyone's picked out their cells, so I sketched up a little diagram for us.
You drew this, workaholic? It's pretty good. But I feel like they're going into way too much detail for nothing to go wrong here.
Yeah. I got a bit of practice in back when my supervisor at the office told me to make some drafts for a pop-up book. The plans fell through, but now I could draw the pictures that make my daughter smile. So all worked out in the end.
What a vivid story. At any rate, it's very easy to tell in the diagram where each detective is resting. A wide central path is sandwiched between a row of cells on either side. If we consider the room's entrance to be south, then the men are on the east side and the women on the west, out of consideration to the latter. Well, there are a lot more guys left, huh? Other than that, the detectives seem to be randomly distributed. Only one detail stands out to me. Will you be okay on your own, Bookworm? Come again. If you'd like, I can place my mattress by the door and sleep in the same cell as you tonight. That way we'll notice if anyone tries to sneak in.
Well, I never. What the devil has gotten into you?
Yeah. Huh? I feel the burn of every eye in the room boring into me. Did I say something wrong? I'm sure you meant well. Bookworm is a lady. You can't offer to sleep in the same room as her. Huh? But we're on the same team. Why? You child-chasing deviant, said the girl, planting a good firm kick on the wannabe criminal's shin with her right foot. You saw it, she told you she was going to do it. What did I do wrong? I was just worried. Why is she so mad?
That one's on you, Watto. You deserve a good scolding.
What? Why? The only response I received to my question is Holmes' beaming smile.
Why, we're raking my brogue incompetent over the coals. Sure, it's risky sleeping on these cold floors. What's the big deal about them being chummy? I hope you never change, Rowdy.
I enter my room and give it a once-over. Cobwebs cover the ceiling, making me uneasy about walking around without crouching. The walls and bars are sturdy, so no one should be able to force their way in. At least be able to sleep in peace. That leaves only one thing to worry about.
You're really thinking of checking on Bookworm again. It'll only make the girl even more upset.
She's doing her best to keep a brave face on. I can't ignore her friend struggling like that.
I was planning to share the connection between the DA and this dungeon since you seem so interested. Is Bookworm a higher priority?
You can tell me about it some other time. I owe Mystic for all that he's taught me. So while I don't have much to offer, I still want to do all I can for his adopted daughter.
Why do I even bother? When it comes to being altruistic, you're more stubborn than a mule. Very well. We'll table this discussion until tomorrow. Go on. Do as you see fit.
Thanks. Sorry for being so difficult. I unlock the cell from inside and head out. A faint metallic noise echoes through the dungeon, giving me a start. Huh? The lights aren't turning on. But I thought they were motion activated. The ceiling of the dungeon has a motion sensor. Normally coming into the hall should trigger the lights. When Doleful first entered, they flicked on as soon as he stepped foot in the room.
The motion sensor deactivates at night, and the lights are programmed to not turn on. Once active, the lights go off after a set amount of time. When the sensor shuts down, it acts as a lights out call for the dungeon.
I don't like this. It feels like I'm sneaking around in the dark.
You only just noticed? Anyone else would think you're a pervert creeping toward a young woman's bedroom.
Finally realized how shady I must appear. No, I can't let this go. I'm just going to check and make sure the bookworm is sleeping all right. Having made up my mind, I start heading toward her cell, but then
Is that renegade? Or no,
No,
workaholic
that's
probably.
workaholic. Yeah.
And what business do you have on the ladies' side of the dungeon?
Right? Huh? Yeah. I turn around to see workaholic right behind me. How do you get there? I failed to notice him at all. And the darkness hadn't helped.
I know I don't leave much of an impression, but is seeing me really so frightening? Honestly, it stings a little.
Sorry, I just couldn't stop worrying about Bookworm is all.
I thought as much. The same goes for me. It seems we're
Literally,
not the only ones either.
and literally everyone else is awake. Huh?
Thought I heard someone in need of a beatdown, but I guess it was just the two of yous.
Looks like we all had the same idea. Shall we go check on Bookworm together? We join Rowdy and Gourmet and make our way over to Bookworm's cell as a group. She's not sleeping. Why are all of you here? The girl asked, surprised by the crowd of unexpected visitors. Bookworm is right awake. The moment she noticed us approaching, she moved forward and posed her question. Oh, Gourmet says she brought snacks in case of emergency, and well, we thought you might like some. Yeah. Your lying skills are abysmal, and you call yourself a detective? The girl snapped, leering scornfully at incompetent detective. I'm disappointed in my weak excuse, but Bookworm merely sighs deeply before retrieving the key to herself from her pocket. Causing a ruckus outside will disrupt anyone trying to sleep. Come inside for now, said the girl reluctantly, unlocking the door. Thanks. Speak too loudly and you're out of here, warned the girl. Got it. After she let us in, we all sit in a circle on the floor of Bookworm's cell. Cold concrete floor makes me shiver. Sitting here is one thing, but sleeping like this would be another. Now I understand why the beds are suspended from the walls. Is there a snack in particular you'd prefer, Bookworm? I love road trips, so I have local favorites from all across the country. You brought them with you? Are road trips and snacking truly all that relevant to one another? Asked the girl, guilelessly voicing her doubt. Oh, now, what are you talking about? Road trips are all about eating and talking. Eating and taking home souvenirs from pit stops, right? I don't think that's why most people take road trips.
Could I have a jelly donut? They're one of my favorites.
I swear to God, I bet you the original text says, like, onigiri. And they actually did the fucking thing.
Most likely.
Actually, hold on, I can actually...
Oh, you're looking it up?
No, I'm trying to listen to it, and then you started talking.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
I was just trying to see if I could hear. I think he actually did say. I think he actually did say donut.
Okay.
He definitely did not say onigiri.
Okay. Eesh, Pops, even your taste in snacks is boring. I give up. Seems I'm doomed to be an average Joe no matter what I do.
To further your typecast, I can lend you the holy blade Mystic Detective held so dear, said the girl, offering an excellent solution.
I'm not too sure I follow.
How exactly do holy blades and office workers go together? There are a plethora of stories about such people getting hit by cars and waking up as heroes, said the girl, explaining herself. I think you mean getting hit by trucks. But that's because they got reincarnated in a new world, right? I think that part has to happen before they get any sacred weaponry. Always with the snappy comebacks. Perhaps we should rename you Retort Detective, counters the girl with a volley of verbal riposts. Everyone bursts out laughing at Bookworm Detective's merciless barbs. Feels like Bookworm's been speaking more. Maybe she's starting to relax. I'll be happy if this visit helps her, even if only a bit. As we eat Gourmet's assortment of snacks and continue chatting, I begin to hear lively voices drifting in from afar. It's Armor and Techie. Oh hey, Armor did make it down. We hadn't seen either of them for some time. What's more, Armor is carrying a bag bulging with food. Where did you find that, Armor? I fetched it off from the dining room before the poisonous gas filled the chamber. Such paltry toxins are no match for mine armor. This was a quest none but I could undergo. The armor may have been safe, but you weren't. You only got away because the gas hadn't fully spread. If you inhaled it, you would have died. Just in case, I washed your suit in the shower after sanitizing you with Squeaky Cleany. You should be fine now, but don't do that again. Thanks to you, I'm all out of decontaminant for now. If someone ends up getting poisoned again, I won't be able to save them anymore. But my apologies. Armor is clearly dismayed by Techie's unusual display of anger. I'm grateful to Armor, but his actions really are far too unsafe. We're in danger as it is. Acting alone only increases the risk of being ambushed. But still, no matter how rash Armor may be, this particular bout of recklessness doesn't quite make sense. I know this food's important, but why did you make the executive decision to go and get it? Wherefore, you ask? Why, because I felt myself compelled to retrieve this. Armor takes out a plastic container with sandwiches neatly packed inside it. Bookworm gasps almost immediately. Those are father's. Verily, they are what remain of the sandwiches Sir Mystic crafted. I was loath to abandon them, and so I searched through the refrigerator anew. Earlier, the chaotic mess of food scattered about distracted us from thoroughly scouring the fridge. Sandwiches must have been hidden in the back. But you saw how almost all the food was destroyed in the afternoon, right? What made you decide to go through the fridge again now? Lady Downtown was responsible for throwing the refrigerator into disarray, was she not? No matter what trickery she concocted, I was uncertain that she would ever lay a hand on the last thing Sir Mystic ever made. I see. You might be right about that. No poison detected. Downtown didn't do a thing to spoil these British sandwiches. And that's despite trashing the rest of it thoroughly. Perhaps it's because they were inside a plastic container? No, I don't think that's it. The words slip out of my mouth. This is the last meal Mystic ever made. Downtown probably wanted Bookworm to have it. That's a rather kind thing to say about the person who murdered Mystic. What makes you think that's the case?
Actually, Gourmet, I'm with my man Incompetent on this. That good-for-nothing Downtown made a point of leaving these Sammys alone. Even killers are human. Doesn't matter how messed in the head they are. They ain't never full-on diabolic monsters. Downtown lost a close friend to the quartering duke. I can't fathom why she would throw in with him after that.
This killing's fun, duh. I think her friend's death is why she became a murderer. But I also have a... Whoops, I hit the button by accident. But I also have a hard time believing she would be so devoted to the quartering duke. Oh, I hit a different button than I thought I hit. Yeah, whatever. Downtown gave us a hint about the quartering duke cases right before she died. Her face in those final moments looked so incredibly sad. There's no way to know what she was thinking then. Still, I want to believe that she was rooting for us to beat him in the end. Why did she help a serial killer she should have hated? That question is the first step to solving the mystery behind the quartering duke.
Yes, I agree. Unless we uncover the root of the delusion swirling around this incident, we won't get any closer to solving the mystery of the Duke. I won't let the Duke have free reign. No matter what it takes, I'll stop him.
I finished my sweep. None of the food has been poisoned, sandwiches included. Since we're all already here, why don't we enjoy a meal together? Bookworm? Tears well in Bookworm's eyes as she clutches the sandwich. Her lips tremble and her voice falters as she fights to keep herself from weeping. Bookworm, it's okay to cry if you want to, you know. The girl thought, I have no right to cry. I hate cucumbers. No matter how often Mystic Detective made them, I could never stand these sandwiches. I never even said thank you. Bookworm strains to speak in her usual manner, struggling with all her might to narrate from an objective third-person perspective. Such a weird thing to say. Maybe all of this is a coping mechanism for a girl who already lost her beloved family once. Seeing her desperation is heart-wrenching. The girl never said thank you, not even once. As she sobs, she feels nothing but regret. It's all so awful. The girl, she...
Now's not the time for logic, numbnuts. Look, your dad just died, yeah? So of course you're sad. Go ahead and cry. Open the dam and sob up a storm.
The girl... Bookworm hides her face. She must understand this on a rational level, but it may be that her social awkwardness stops her from accepting the truth. I can sympathize, given my own interpersonal ineptitude. Bookworm, just this once, it's okay to be vulnerable in front of us. We're on your side here. We won't laugh or talk about this behind your back. Mystic trusted his companions, didn't he? So, I think it'd be good for you to trust us too, Bookworm. Bookworm looks up, her gaze meeting mine. Tear escapes one of her eyes, running down her cheek as she stares at me. The girl... I wish I could have told him thank you. I wish I could have spent more time with him. I wish I could have learned more from him. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry for being such an awful daughter. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's as if all the tears she'd bottled up had burst from her eyes at the same time. Bookworm sobs unabashedly. It's shocking to see her like this, compared to how stoic she usually looks. As I thought, she'd been repressing these feelings this entire time. It's only natural. Detectives aren't perfect, flawless heroes after all. Like when Holmes and Mystic died, or when Downtown defected to the enemy, I'm reminded once again that every DA member is still just a human being. We sit alongside Bookworm in silence until she finishes crying. We do this in hopes that tomorrow, she'll be able to take her first steps going forward. We do this in order to support her, forever and always.
No need to watch from all the way out there, Posh. Why don't you join them? You were concerned too, weren't you? I noticed you keeping your eyes on Bookworm ever since we arrived here. Pardon? Just what are you insinuating? Why would I, a lady of society's uppermost strata, fuss over a plight of a commoner? I merely wish to observe whether or not that burdensome girl would be able to move past this. You ought to be joining them yourself, rather than telling me to do so. Your fellow lowborns are waiting for you. All I do is bring misfortune.
Oops.
All I do is bring misfortune wherever I go. There's no place for me in that circle. If I wasn't here, Mystic would still be alive. My abilities always end up hurting someone else. I shouldn't even be allowed near other people. That's entirely untrue. Your abilities have nothing short of invaluable to us. Look at that. You really are kind. Posh, I know you're the kind of person who can work well with others. If something ever happened to me, helping competent on my behalf. I'll thank you not to speak such ominous things. Do you truly believe I'd allow that so-called Duke to have his way on my watch? Mark my words, the one who apprehends the quartering Duke will be none other than me. If you keep laughing like that, Bookworm and the others will notice us.
Before I know it, the morning has come. We gather in the area between the cells to eat breakfast. All 10 of us sit in a circle. In the middle is the food Armor brought, as well as some cans that were found in the warden's room. Armor sits to my right and Bookworm to my left. Lana must have slept well. Her face looks livelier than when we spoke last night. Dining together in a circle, tis like to lodging at an encampment. What fun! Being empty of mind means being free from worry. How enviable, the girl said with a sigh. There are quite a few of us, and only a small amount of food. Even with these cans from the warden's room, we'll run out in 3 days. If we don't decide our next move on the double, we will all die of starvation, said the girl, calmly stating the facts. Many pardons, I was consumed by whimsy. Bookworm shuts Armor down with ease. Her wordplay is quick as a whip, and her tongue sharper than ever. She definitely has her old energy back now. Hey, Bookworm, are you going to stick to speaking like that? Bookworm smiles impudently as I quietly whisper to her. We suffer from an overabundance of useless adults. As such, I will focus on being as objective as possible in my thinking. I have vowed to expose the quartering Duke. Can I count on your support? Asked the girl, fixing incompetent detective with trustful eyes. Of course. Let's do our best, Bookworm. Her expression brightens. I can't detect the worry that had been present yesterday. She may need more time to fully recover, but progress is progress. I hope to stay by her and help out in whatever small way I can.
Why, I never. A refined lady such as myself, having to dine while seated upon the ground, this deeply shames the Pinkerton name. It's nice and manly if you ask me. Us Japanese people sitting cross-legged on the floor, all traditional-like, it just feels right.
You're a girl, Rowdy, remember? You should mind your sitting posture a bit more. Besides, there are non-Japanese people here too, such as me.
These cans, their expiration dates are 10 years past. Are we absolutely certain any of this is edible? You'll yap over just about anything, huh? If you don't want it, then don't eat it. Luckily, we have all the water we need from the tap. Speaking from experience, you can live about a week on just water, see? Are you mad? How dare you compare your own primitive gut with my urbane, sophisticated stomach?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my goodness, what a stuffy little brat.
I know. Either way, there's no choice but to eat what we have. It'll be fine. I once survived for a month on rusty cans of food.
This is most certainly not fine. I've had enough of your common rabble. Don't worry, Posh. If anything here was actually dangerous, I'm sure I'd sense it.
Canned goods are sterilized and hermetically sealed. If there aren't any holes or swelling, then scientifically they can last over a decade. This dungeon receives no sunlight and has low humidity, which should allow for quite a long shelf life.
And yet, you're only eating the snacks and barely touching the cans.
Well, even if the science is sound, that doesn't mean I actually want to eat it. If Dolly says they're safe, then they must be. What a rare opportunity. I shall dine upon canned goodies to my heart's content.
You know, I'm gonna step away. I really need to use the bathroom. Alright? Unless you want to take a break too.
I was thinking we were probably going to wrap up soon.
Okay, yeah, let me just say, yeah, give me a few minutes. I need to go.
Okay. Don't go gorging yourself into a stomachache. I don't care if they aren't rotten. This food certainly isn't as safe as it gets. As Bookworm stated, our current problem is what to do before we run out of food. Even if we escape the toxic gas in the manor, that black machine is still outside. However, we haven't the supplies to wait there here for help. I propose that we explore this dungeon. There could be a hidden passageway down here as well. I'm in favor. No doubt there's a path between here and the research facility. Really now? And is there any particular reason you're so confident about that? While we were searching for food in the warden's room, I just so happened to find this elevator key. As he speaks, Renegade Detective draws a key out from his pocket. Dangling below it does indeed read elevator. An elevator key? But wait, the dungeon doesn't even have an elevator, so why? Curious, isn't it? I had the same reaction, so I gave it some thought. Elevators don't normally require keys, not unless they're for maintenance or to operate in some special way. Gormangast doesn't have an elevator either, nor a need for one. As it so happens, there's only one place on the island that does have an elevator. The research facility. You know it. This key must be for the elevator at Snark's. But that raises a question. We're underneath the manor, which means we're pretty far from the research facility, right? They wouldn't keep something here if it had no use. So why store the key to the research facility elevator in this dungeon? Aha! Now I understand. This dungeon was created as a dwelling place for the elevator operator. No, definitely not that. Nope, not even close. You get it, don't you, incompetent? Why would the key for the research facility elevator be stashed all the way down here? Think. If it's kept here, that must mean there's a reason it needs to be here. The elevator key is required to be at the dungeon. In other words, the dungeon... I guess it would be this one. Because the dungeon is connected to the research facility, right? If this place leads to Snark's, then it would only make sense for that key to be kept here. Give the men a prize! You're right on the money, incompetent. To be even more precise, this elevator key is probably required to travel between the two areas. There wasn't a button in the facility for the elevator to descend any lower, so maybe this lets you move above and below ground. I see. So to summarize, there's a hidden passage connecting this dungeon to the elevator at Snark's. Nailed it. This dungeon seems like a dead end, but somewhere within it is a secret passage that leads to the surface. Let's look for it after we finish eating. Detectives are all about mutual cooperation, right? Renegade Detective asks this uncharacteristic question with a smile. Given his past actions, I fully suspect he has an ulterior motive. But for now, Renegade Detective makes a good point. Everyone wants to escape from this place. It would be best to do so as he suggests. If there's a hidden passage, how should we search for it? An orthodox approach says there's a hidden mechanism for opening it, but besides the warden's room, there's little to investigate. At least in video games, there's always a strange statue or painting or something you can push to open the way. Given that this is a dungeon, it wouldn't make sense for the mechanism to be obvious anyway. Something simple once known, but otherwise impossible to locate. A wall switch, perhaps? Said the girl, sharing her personal theory. Makes sense. With how large this area is, it's unlikely that a hidden switch on a wall would be discovered. Let's not waste any time and get to looking then. If I do not at least consume some form of protein, I will surely lose my strength. I have no choice. No choice, I say. I must partake in this canned food. Here goes. I'll be. Pallet is actually quite pleased. This tin of grilled chicken is rather passable indeed. As for these sardines... why, they too are scrumptious. Oh, gone is my dread for this canned cuisine. Is she trying to eat it in private? Roses are red, violets are blue. Posh is enjoying an old can of food. Dispense with your irreverent nursery rhymes at once. Funny. Okay, I think with that, I'm gonna call this one here.